All right, it's your boy Fanon. Welcome back to the channel. In this video, we are talking about one of the hottest young prospects in boxing, along with one of the most underrated fighters in boxing, Jaron Ennis and Jermell Charlo. Had a conversation with a very widely respected trainer who gave me his insight and said that he believes that Jaron Ennis very well may beat Jermell Charlo right now, and that his easiest route to superstardom and undisputed title is at 154 pounds. Let's talk about that in this video. All right, welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Fanon. I'm loving this conversation. We're going to talk about the welterweight or slash the 154 pound division and Jaron Ennis and Jermell Charlo. Before I get into that though, I want to please make sure to subscribe to the channel, like the video, share the video. It would be greatly appreciated. And also make sure that you support my betting partner and sponsor of the video, busr.ag/Fanon. If you bet on boxing, football, basketball, doesn't matter. You can go to that site, put in the promotional code Fanon, and then you're going to get some special benefits and special perks because I referred you over there. So make sure you guys do that. All right, man. So this is a fun conversation for me, and one that I find very interesting because, you know, I do live streams pretty much every morning. 8 a.m. If you haven't checked them out, 8 a.m. Central Standard Time, we do live streams. And over the last maybe year or so, I've noticed, man, that there's just a lot of growing fans for a young fighter out of the city of Philadelphia. If I said state of Philadelphia, forgive me. Sometimes I trip over my tongue. I don't do scripts for the video, so you take it as you get it. But a lot of growing interest in this guy that is an absolutely tremendous fighter in Jaron Ennis out of Philadelphia. And so I have friends in the boxing industry. Some are trainers, some are managers. Don't really share their names a lot because they don't like a lot of heat coming back on them, right? It's just conversations that we have. So I spoke with somebody today and I was asking them, look, honestly, what do you think is going to happen in the 147 pound division? What do you think is going to happen in the 154 pound division? And specifically, you know, where do you think, you know, the next generation of guys are going to really, you know, how do you think it's going to pan out, right? And I talked, obviously, you know, I asked about Jaron Ennis, and their take was this, man. They were like, look, Jaron Ennis right now, if he was given the opportunity they said they believe he could do it right now, but definitely within a couple fights, could go up to 154 pounds and beat the champions, both champions at 154 pounds, both Jermell Charlo and Brian Castano, who, by the way, will be fighting. I do believe they will be fighting for their rematch for their undisputed title at 154 pounds. So, and their take was, look, the money division is 147 pounds, without a doubt. That's where you're going to become the big star. That's just a historical thing. And also the big name fighters are at 147 pounds right now. Errol Spence Jr. is at 147 pounds. You know, other guys that were the big champions in 147 before him, Keith Thurman. Danny Garcia is moving up to 154, but obviously Terrence Crawford in that big mega fight that they're having at 147 pounds, if they're actually able to pull that off, I believe it's going to happen. You know, all of that is happening at 147 pounds, and Jaron Ennis is most definitely the guy that is next up at 147. However, their take is staying at 147 might not be the way for him to actually get the big fights that he wants. He might actually be better off taking a chance, going up to 154 pounds and starting to challenge and become mandatories for 154 pounds, because even though the guys are bigger at 154 pounds, guys like, you know, Erickson Lubin, Jermell Charlo, Erislandy Lara, I do believe Erislandy Lara is still fighting. He may be at 160, but Erislandy Lara, even these guys are Skill-wise, they're not on par with Jaron Ennis, and Jaron Ennis should be able to beat those guys. And what that would allow Jaron Ennis to do is to get ahead of the curve. And when Errol Spence Jr. and those guys go to 154, specifically Errol Spence Jr. goes to 154, Jaron Ennis will be right there and in set up in a situation to fight him. And honestly, and they said also that they believed, and this is something that I believe as well, that Errol Spence Jr. is probably not long for the 147-pound division. He's probably going to move up to the 154-pound division. And also, if Jermell Charlo wins the Undisputed title, more than likely Jermell Charlo is going to move up to 160 pounds and not hold on to that Undisputed title for a long time, because of the fact that it's just so expensive with all of those sanctioning bodies. But it would be with all the sanctioning body fees that he would have to pay. So it's just a really good opportunity for Jermell Charlo, for Jaron Ennis to maybe jump up there and get a shot at a belt there. But I was just taken back that he thought so highly of Jaron Ennis's skill to say that he would be able to beat Jermell Charlo right now. Now, you know this is not the first time that somebody has tried that, though. And specifically, the guy that I'm talking about is a southpaw out of the great state of Florida, Erickson Lubin, who tried to jump a little bit too early in there with Jermell Charlo and did not even have a chance for the fight to develop because he got caught with a nasty uppercut and knocked out, right? So I'm not saying that I believe, and this is why I'm telling you, is always please listen to my videos and listen to all the way to the end, because what I will do is I will tell you what other people think, and then I'm going to give you what I think. And when I'm giving you what other people think, a lot of times people believe that's my thought process. It's not necessarily the case. I just know how to make an argument for somebody as if I was them, not always saying that is specifically what I believe. So for me personally, I think Jaron Ennis should stay at 147 pounds and that he should take over that division regardless of whether or not he gets the Errol Spence Jr. fight or whether or not he gets the Terrence Crawford fight, because it is going to be that kid's style in the ring, his ability to beat these guys and beat them in a dominating fashion that is going to grow his name and allow him to be the big money man. Perfect example of why I believe that is Errol Spence himself. Errol Spence Jr. has grown himself into a pay-per-view attraction. He's grown himself into somebody that is one of the biggest names in boxing, and he did that while he was getting ducked and not being allowed to fight guys like Keith Thurman, Sean Porter originally, Danny Garcia. None of those guys wanted him until he grew his name. And once he grew his name, then they were willing to fight him because the money was there. I think that is probably the best route for Jaron Ennis to take, that particular route. Stay at 147 pounds, dominate 147 pounds. You got guys like Josh Taylor who are going to move up. And if Josh Taylor wants to, if he gets his hands on a 147-pound belt and you have your hand on a 147-pound belt, Josh Taylor's not going to be able to run for long, and he's going to have to take that fight, and that could be the big fight. And I promise you he's going to dust. Well, I believe that he's going to dust Josh Taylor, but I just thought the conversation was very, very interesting, man. I would not underestimate Jermell Charlo, though. Jermell Charlo is an animal in that ring. I wish Jermell Charlo would go to the body a little bit more, but I'm sure that is something that Derek James is going to work on him with, a little bit of a headhunter and not necessarily breaking guys down, really looking for that one big shot up top. But if he turns into somebody that is really going to work the body, he's going to be somebody that can break down and really hurt somebody. And honestly, I would hate to see Jaron Ennis in there with a guy like that early, because I really think that Jaron Ennis has a lot really going for him in his career. But anyway, that's my take on the matter. Make sure you leave your comment in the comment section and let me know what you think. I will try to get to your comments in the comment section. Can't always do that, but it is what it is. Just let me know what you think in the comment section. And with that, I'm out. Peace.